This is a tutorial to refresh your memory about Adobe Illustrator. We're going to be building a garden type spring scene, and really we're just practicing using some of the basic tools that you may have forgotten how to use. So we're going to start by opening an Illustrator document by going File, New, and I'm just going to call this Garden. I am going to make sure it's an 8.5 by 11 inches. There aren't a lot of settings to change, but you want to make sure under units it says inches instead of points or anything else. And click OK. So the first thing we're going to do is make sure that our workspace is set up how we want. If you ever need to refresh your workspace, go to Window, Workspace, Reset Essentials. That is a common thing for people to need to figure out, and it puts all your tools in the default settings back together where you want them. So the first step is we're going to create a picket fence. So we're going to start with a basic rectangle, and you're just going to drag a nice big rectangle shape in the center of your screen. Remember the difference between your black and your white arrow. The black arrow can move the object around, and the white arrow can move individual points around. So to make this into a pointed picket, we need to add another point. So to do that, we're going to get our pen tool, just the regular pen. Make sure it's not the pen with the plus or any other icon next to it. And you're just going to hover right on the top of that rectangle until you see a plus sign, and you're just going to click. Now you've got your third point at the top, and you're going to use your white arrow to click it to activate it, and then drag it straight up to make a point like a picket fence. So here's your first step. Now we need to make them a stripe of pickets. So we're going to click on this picket and hold Option down and drag. Remember, Option drag copies. And we actually want to space two of them side by side. So we could probably Option drag and try to eyeball it and make them line up, but there's an easier way. We're going to drag around both of the pieces, and we're going to make sure that they're at the same height level with our Align tools. And now we're going to use our Blend tool. The Blend tool is right here. It looks like a square that blends into a circle, and you just click it once. You click one picket, you click the other picket, and it automatically fills in the rest. Now, if yours looks different than mine, there could be a couple things going on. The first thing you want to do is double click and bring up your blend options. Now, the smooth color is just filling in the spacing. You can also do specified steps, and preview helps out a lot. So I have 7 pickets. I could change it to 6 if I click on this gray back here, or maybe if I even want to do 5 pickets and I hit OK, it's going to space them out a little bit more. So set up your fence, and that is our first step for this tutorial, is the fence. The second step we're going to work on is we're going to create a whole bunch of flowers in a specific way. So I'm going to move the fence down, and I'm going to start my flower with a circle. So I get my ellipse tool, I hold down Shift, and I make a nice big perfect circle. I want that circle to start out as a basic color, so I'm going to make it red with no fill. Okay. Now I want this circle to have petals that go around it equally spaced. So the petals are going to start with an oval shape, and I'm going to place that petal right above my circle, and I'm going to make it yellow. So I think my circle ended up a little too big in comparison to my petals. So you're going to make 5 different petals of your choice. So I'm going to start with these 2 items, and what I do is I click the petal, and then I find my Rotate tool. If you don't see it, it's behind Reflect. I find Rotate, and I find the center of my red circle, and I hold down Option, and I click at the same time. That's going to bring up your Rotate tool. I am now going to change the angle to 20%. You might want to play with this and see what you get. And then I'm going to hit Copy, not OK, but Copy. and it actually made a copy at 20% angle. Now to duplicate it all the way around, I just have to go Command D, Command D. So I'm clicking my keyboard with Command D all the way around my flower. So now what I have is nice petals equally spaced. Before I do anything else, I want to group it by going Object, Group, or Command G. I'm going to shrink that down, and I'd like you to do that with 5 different color combinations. I will show you the next tutorial shortly that's going to go into more detail about this project.